Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. It was supposed to be a night of celebration in southwest Bakersfield, but it ended in gunfire. What witnesses say about this shooting coming up.
Up in flames, dozens of cars were destroyed after an intense fire at Carmax, and the dealership says they're out millions. More on the blaze coming up.
Now boarding, another nonstop flight is coming to Bakersfield, connecting you to the Lone Star State. When you'll be able to board the second flight to Dallas still ahead. Today is Tuesday, June 25th. 2019. Good morning. We're glad that you're joining us this morning. I'm Tabitha Mills in for Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher and Kevin Charette.
You know, I think it's really neat that they have this new flight going out of Bakersfield to Dallas, non-stop from Bakersfield to Dallas. I mean, you can get to Dallas in, 3 hours, I believe? I think that's the flight time?
That is a new flight, and hopefully we'll get more flights as we go down the road, but definitely a lot of people happy about that nonstop to Dallas.
Well, that's what's so exciting, too, is you see all these flights. I mean, you know, each flight that they add means more people to serve, and it's also great because then there's a little competition there.
Yeah,
I mean, kind of lowers the prices as well.
I'd love to fly out of Bakersfield all the time if I had my choice.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes down the road. On the weather front, made it back from the beautiful coastline, now back to the 90s of Bakersfield. So that's what we're expecting today, but it is fairly comfortable out there this morning. But yesterday, we did hit 100 degrees. The record yesterday was 111, and that was set back in 1925. Didn't get that warm, but it was definitely at the century mark. We're at 73 right now. An easterly wind at 3. As we take a look at the day, starting out in the 70s, 91 at noon. By 3 o'clock, we'll be right near 98. And then for the Tehachapi area, 59 degrees currently. No winds to talk about, but we will see a breeze pick up this afternoon. Starting out in the 60s, and then we'll be looking at some 80s throughout the afternoon. By 3 o'clock, 82.
New this morning, a birthday party gone wrong. Bakersfield police are investigating a shooting in southwest Bakersfield. BPD says officers got a call about 5 to 7 shots being fired just after midnight. It all happened on Cantor Way, just a few blocks off of Ming Avenue. Witnesses say the shots rang out while a family birthday party was happening in the front yard of a home. They tell us one man was shot in the leg, then ran up a nearby driveway. Paramedics took him to Kern Medical. No word on how he's doing this morning.
A massive fire in southwest Bakersfield destroyed dozens of cars at a Carmax slot. We first told you about this as breaking news last night on 17 News at 5. 17 News viewer Barbie Bardoza shot this video as she was passing the flames along Highway 99. You can see the road closest to the freeway where it appears several pickup trucks are on fire. The flames broke out around 1:30 yesterday. Firefighters believe it was sparked by a semi-truck that was dragging something behind it, throwing sparks on the side of the road, causing multiple grass fires down the 99. One of those fires reached the Carmax lot. The dealership says flames damaged nearly 90 cars. 26 of them are a total loss. The dealership says those losses total more than $2 million.
A massive fire burning in Arizona is now the largest fire in the country. That's according to INCIWeb, which tracks wildfires across the U.S. The so-called Woodbury Fire sparked on June 8th. It's burning roughly 65 miles west of Phoenix. So far, flames have charred some 112,000 acres, and the fire is just 48% contained. Firefighters say the fire was started by humans, but they're not sure how.
Iran is slamming the Trump administration today over new sanctions targeting the nation's leaders. President Trump enacted the new sanctions yesterday in response to Iran shooting down an American drone. State News quoted the Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman as saying President Trump's move means the end of diplomacy between the two countries. Washington says the measures were taken to discourage Tehran from developing nuclear weapons and supporting militant groups. This all comes amid heightened tensions between the U.S. and Iran over Tehran's unraveling nuclear deal with world powers. Meantime, National Security Advisor John Bolton says President Trump is open to negotiations and, quote, all that Iran needs to do is walk through that open door. Speaking at a security summit in Israel today, Bolton says American envoys are surging across the region in hopes of finding a path out of escalating tensions between the U.S. and Iran. But he added that the silence of the Islamic Republic has been, quote, deafening. The Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman says the situation in the Persian Gulf is very dangerous and said any talks with the U.S. are impossible in the face of escalating sanctions and intimidation.
5:05 now, and the trial continues in the civil suit against the Taft Union High School District. The latest witness to take the stand, the mother of the shooter. You may remember in January 2013, Brian Oliver opened fire in a Taft High classroom. Then student Bo Cleveland was shot in the chest and underwent more than 30 surgeries. Now his family is suing the district. The Cleveland family claims administrators ignored warning signs. In court last week, their lawyer, Daniel Rodriguez, shared reports students and teachers sent to the administrators in the months leading up to the shooting. Yesterday, Oliver's mother, Sherry, testified. She says the school never told her about any threats either, and also didn't tell her that her son was being bullied.
Did the school district ever come to you and offer to help them by way of counseling or anything along those lines?
No.
The high school is there not to parent, not to police, not to be a peer to the other students.
During opening statements last week, attorneys representing the district argued it shouldn't be held responsible. They say the blame should instead fall on the shooter, Oliver. In a 2015 criminal suit, Oliver was sentenced to 27 years in prison.
5:06 now, the California Highway Patrol wants to help make sure we have fewer tragedies on our roadways. That's why the CHP holds classes for both new and seasoned drivers. Today, officers are hosting another Age Well, Drive Smart class for seniors. The free lesson aims to help those 65 and older avoid potentially deadly crashes. It also talks about alternative modes of transportation when driving is no longer an option. The class is happening at 9 a.m. this morning at the Bakersfield office on Campagnoli Street. If you're interested, call CHP at 396-6600 to register.
Hopeful news for a former Bakersfield Police Department employee battling cancer. You might remember last month, Houchin hosted a blood drive in honor of retired BPD Community Relations Supervisor Cindy London. Doctors diagnosed her with leukemia, but BPD posted on Facebook saying doctors have found a bone marrow donor for London. She's set to undergo a bone marrow transplant this week. The department says they send their thoughts and prayers to London, and so do all of us here at KGET.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
It never gets old. SpaceX says it's the most difficult mission to date, and the company successfully launched its Falcon Heavy rocket late last night. The rocket blasted off from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida around 11:30. You can see the rocket roared into the sky, and the launch went off without a hitch. The rocket is carrying 24 experimental satellites into space for key customers, including the U.S. Department of Defense. The experiments also include a solar sail project headed by Bill Nye the Science Guy. Getting the devices to their intended orbit was expected to take several hours and require some complicated maneuvering. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, I always love seeing these launches. I mean, we've seen them several times, and they have happened several times a year, but like you said, it never gets old.
It never gets old.
It is 5:18 now, and KGET is teaming up with Adventist Health Bakersfield to highlight the many inspiring stories here in our community.
Lives are transformed every day by people in our community who care, taking action to better the lives of others. In a new series called Together Inspired, this morning we highlight a group of young people who believe it's time for change.
There's so much that needs to be fixed.
They want to make our community a better place.
I hope to change their mindset and mine too.
They're transitional youth mobilizing for change, otherwise known as Time for Change.
It all starts local. The change that you make here is a change that's going to start all throughout the country and eventually all throughout the world.
They're lending their voice to others.
Everybody needs a helping hand in some point or some way in their lives, but not everybody wants to speak up and say it.
A youth-driven research and service program focused on education, advocacy, and community development.
This is like something I've never experienced throughout my whole life growing up. No adult has ever given us the kids the options to be able to speak up and have our word out there.
Just because they're young doesn't mean they aren't capable.
It's not impossible just because of the age gap or maybe resources. It's still possible.
Together they can. Together they will.
I just want to help out the community because everybody has it rough, and just to be able to give somebody give somebody hope or to do something they want, it'll be amazing.
Time for Change empowers young people to learn about their community's needs, identify and research ways to meet them, and take action. The first action on their list at Sunset Middle School in Weed Patch. These young people say students at the school often fight over playground equipment, classrooms are falling apart, and gang signs and related issues plague the school.
As a Hispanic person, when I see those little kids, I see myself in them. So I see it's important, and I know what it's like because I don't come from the best background. I know what it's like to want something that's simple for other people to get, like a basketball or a soccer ball or a tetherball.
Something as simple, as small as a basketball, their vehicle for change.
I believe a small change is always very important.
We believe that what we're doing might be small, but hopefully other people can see what we're doing and also inspire them to go ahead and do other great things for our community.
The group hopes to buy playground equipment, repair classrooms, and paint murals at the school. If anyone is interested in helping the group financially or otherwise, please send me an email, tabithamills@kget.com. Welcome back to 17 Business Watch. A retail giant is offering families a new option to pay for their groceries via store pickup. Walmart is now accepting EBT payments for those using the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP. The payment option makes it easier for more customers to pick up their groceries without leaving their cars. Walmart says it's the first retailer to offer this method of payment for online grocery pickup. Customers select EBT card for the payment option and provide it to the associate when their grocery order is delivered to their car. The FTC is cracking down on robocalls. Today, the agency is holding a new conference to announce a plan to put an end to telemarketers making illegal robocalls. The Federal Trade Commission is calling the plan Operation Call It Quits. It's a joint agency crackdown on telemarketers responsible for more than 1 billion illegal robocalls. The plan is an attempt to at least cut down on the number of calls being made, often harassing individuals about things like reducing student loan debt or winning fake lottery prizes. Travel a new option to choose from when booking their flights. American Airlines plans to add a second nonstop flight to from Meadowsfield, to Dallas-Fort Worth, starting in January. American resumed flights from Bakersfield to Dallas back in March. The airline says that flight has exceeded revenue expectations by 85%. The service was backed by a revenue guarantee from the County Board of Supervisors, the local business community, and a grant from the U.S. Department of Transportation. Prime shoppers are in luck. Amazon's famous Prime Day will be 2 days this year. It starts Monday, July 15th at midnight and will run for 48 hours. This is the 5th ever Prime Day where you can find more than 1 million deals on the website. The sales event draws loyal customers but also brings in new ones to its $119 annual free shipping program. Amazon says some products like Toshiba TVs are already on sale.